The doctors are in the house today. We're sharing about how to go from toxic relationships to expressing your brilliance. And this is not a light show. We've got deep information that's going to shine a light on what happens in early childhood that makes people susceptible to putting themselves second and settling for those toxic relationships. And instead, how to put yourself first and bring forth your brilliance and the possibility of healthy relationships. I'm so excited. So let's go say hi to our doctors in the house today. Hi, Dr. Rhoberta.
Hello, Laura. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, and I'm in sunny San Diego. You can find me at emergingempowered.com, and I'm a relationship crisis consultant.
Great to have you here, Dr. Rhoberta, and hi, Dr. Nicole.
Greetings. I bring you greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Dr. Nicole Steele. I'm the confidence coach, and your listeners can find me at therealnicolesteele.com.
Great to have you both here. I am so excited. We've got crisis and confidence together. Wow. What more can we ask for to talk about how to overcome that past? So I want to start with you, Dr. Rhoberta. What early life situations create the proclivity towards toxic relationships, and what steps can people take to overcome that past?
Sure. Let's just think for a moment. We're born with perfectly functioning nerves and an underdeveloped brain. So what could possibly go wrong? We're little, and we are deciding from our nervous system, am I wanted? Am I welcome? Am I worthy? Do they like me? Do they come when I cry? What do they do? Do they spend time with me? Do they make eye contact? How do they tell me I'm okay, that I'm secure? Well, if you didn't have that experience, if you were anxious, do they like me? Will they come? Or if you'd already decided they're not going to come and I don't like them anyway, you have already moved well before you had language into understanding your place in the family and how people determine who you are. So it has a tremendous influence on those first 3 years of your life, going right up until you're about 6 or 7, when you actually get some really strong parietal and prefrontal lobe development in your brain. So all those things that are happening that we seldom go back and decide, what happened to me? That usually happens in our 40s. We've been operating on them. So if we had trauma, if we were neglected, if we had adverse situations, if we were left, if we were abandoned, if we were just part of a family where we weren't noticed, we are going to take what we're given. And for many people who find themselves later in toxic relationships, they are just used to being taken what they're given and looking for those little breadcrumbs of love. And when they get a breadcrumb of love, they honestly believe they've had a feast.
Wow. And so when someone realizes that they haven't really had a feast, what's their next step?
Well, to actually allow yourself to realize that I have been emotionally abused. You don't have to make anybody wrong for it, but you need to realize what emotional abuse looks like. I have courses to help people do that and checklists, but you have to get it because we resist it. We don't want to believe that happened. We like to sugarcoat our childhoods often. And that's when we need that starting point that says, I need to whip off my rose-colored glasses and see the red flags that were actually in my childhood as to why I'm accepting this less than stellar way of being related to.
Sounds a little scary because, the rose-colored glasses are not all really making things all that rosy. They're just shading things over. And if we have to color a new, take off those glasses, we have to look at something that seems painful.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can offer that would offer some courage for people to step into that?
Yes. Know that you're worth it. And I know that that's a cliche in our day, but know that you deserve the best life possible. You deserve to live from your values, your vision, your beliefs, and know what your purpose or next goal is. And when somebody is making you small, isolating you, putting you down, wearing you down, tearing you down, you don't have that opportunity. So the starting point is to be able to say, no, I want to grow. And so in doing that, you might say, can't do it here. Apparently, I'm being emotionally abused, and I'm going to call it what it is. Never poke a hijackal, and that's my term for these people. So you don't tell them that they're abusive. You don't tell them those things. You work on it within yourself and get strategies for moving away from it.
I love that. And I know you have lots of strategies. So I want to ask you, Dr. Nicole, now that we have people who might be coming to this place of awareness and a recognition that they're worth it, how can our viewers grow into their full potential and their brilliance?
Well, I love what Dr. Rhoberta talked about. When it comes to relationships, in my opinion, the most important relationship is our relationship with ourselves. And so before we can find it in anyone else, but we set the standard. And so when you talk about, what people can do to begin that work, the first thing I would encourage people to do is to embrace the brilliance that's within. So often people spend an enormous amount of time, and this is people of all ages, competing and comparing their brilliance to the brilliance of others. And so what I would encourage people to do is to really identify those beautiful things that make them unique, the things that they're passionate about, the things that they were purposed to do, and lean into those things. I think when you start talking about romantic relationships or friendships, we have to go into those spaces whole and well. Otherwise, we'll be looking for other people to fill a void. And so I would just I would just encourage them to really put themselves first on their priority list in terms of doing the work themselves and embrace that brilliance fully.
I love that idea too. You got to really slow down. Would you agree to think about what is your brilliance and also clear out some cobwebs? Because what I heard from Dr. Rhoberta is there might be these people in your early childhood who have these voices in your head that are contradicting. It's not meant, and that may cause the comparison. But what ideas do you have to talk to that voice and to shift that?
Well, like you said, creating time and space to do the work is important. We're really busy people. And when it comes to relationships, often we jump from one to the other. We are putting the needs of other people as first priority. And like I said, we have to create margin in our life to silence the voices, even the internal voice, because we've got a lot of times we have an internal critic that's louder than anybody. But creating that time and space and a safe space where you can be honest with yourself, whether it's counseling, whether it's a safe girlfriend or group that you can, a community that you can share. I think that time is a crucial component for me, prayer time, for others, meditation time, reflection, whatever that is that can allow you to center yourself and do the work is important.
Do the work, really good words to live by, especially when you're talking about it with taking time, like pause, because that's really, like you said, it's crucial. It's crucial to take it, not to keep spending it on everything outside of ourselves. I think it'll be highly valuable is what I'm hearing from both of you. So given that you are both these amazing experts helping people through these situations and getting to that brilliance and that freedom in relationships and feeling of that sense self-worth, I wanted to know, who do you work with and what do you do with them and what are you passionate about doing for them? Dr. Rhoberta?
I work with people all over the world because my podcast and my YouTube channel are so well attended. So I get information from everyone. And what I do is I help them to recognize, as we spoke of earlier, recognize and recover from emotional abuse and toxic relationships, to really understand that life can be different, life can be healthier. If you've been with a hijackal human or you were raised by a hijackal human, the view that you have of yourself may not be the healthiest. And so we want to be able to move into a place that says, I have a healthy understanding of who I am now, who I want to maintain being, and how that's aligned with my values.
That's great. So do you have a story about how life can be different?
Well, I can tell you from going from my story to client stories, I was raised by two hijackal parents, and lucky me, I'm an only child. So I had two very, very dysfunctional humans in many different ways that I was raised by. Fortunately, when I was about 9 or 10, I looked at them and thought, these guys are nuts. They really are. And I can do anything I want because I know exactly what to tell them. So I was fascinated by that, but there was no help. There was no help. When you have a hijackal parent, for instance, and you go to somebody and say, my parents are doing this when you're 14 years old, the usual thing you'll get in my day was, oh, how dare you talk about your parents like that? They're wonderful. And the reason that that's true, as I say in the podcast, is hijackals paint a public picture of perfection, while at home they provide a private place of pain. So the world is seeing sunshine and roses, and you're feeling doom and gloom. And so when you go to express what's happening in your home and other people never see that, it's difficult for them. So what gets me up in the morning, what floats my boat and flips my skirt, is helping people recognize that, yeah, that's emotional abuse. You're not doing it. It's happening to you. It's not about you. It's about the people who are perpetrating it. To really understand that, and then to recover, because the older you are, the more you've traveled with that information. So the recovery occurs. And so I have clients who have been in indescribably horrible circumstances, who are now happily either single and thriving, or have moved beyond single and thriving, or I'm back in relationships that are healthy. And when I wrote Kaizen for Couples, it was because people needed a guide to how to have a healthy relationship. And my people really needed that. So that's the way I work with them, Laura.
Beautiful, great story and great work. So valuable for people who feel so stuck. And Dr. Nicole, I wanted to move over to you and ask, so who do you work with and what is that passion you have for helping people?
Well, I get the pleasure of working with ladies, leaders, and little girls. And I do that through two primary vehicles. One, I'm the executive director and founder of an award-winning youth program called Diamond in the Rough, which works with girls ages 4 to 18. But on the other side of the house, I'm one half of a coaching and consulting business called Gym Makers, where me and my partner get a chance to help women gain the clarity, the confidence, and the courage to truly shine, whether that's personally or professionally. So I've been in this line of work for the last 30 years. I get up every day with an opportunity to just help people tap into that brilliance within. And there's nothing like this work, nothing like it at all.
It sounds so rewarding. So tell us how you got to this work.
Yeah, well, my personal life journey has led me right here. All of the dots of my life have connected to this point in time. I'm a native of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and as a young child, raised by a single parent who did a phenomenal job. But even despite that, I struggled, as many young people do, dealing with value and worth. And I like to say that I am a recovering people pleaser. So when you couple all that in, it led me down a journey. I dealt with low self-esteem, low confidence, making poor choices, self-destructive behaviors. And it wasn't until I was able to, first of all, fully embrace all of the people that my mother strategically placed around me, whether it was teachers, neighbors, friends, people who saw something in me when I didn't see it in myself, people who held a standard that was higher, held me to a higher standard. All of that helped to mold and shape me. And so then fast forward, as I continued that journey, I recognized that not everybody had support. I was really blessed and was able to take that brokenness that I once had and turn it into brilliance. But again, everybody doesn't have that support. Everybody doesn't have an encouraging parent, as Dr. Rhoberta just mentioned. And so I saw a need that was around me, be it among young people or around my peers. And I understand the importance of community. I understand the importance. None of us was designed to do life alone. And so being able to connect with like-minded people, being able to invite people to this vision and dream to empower, again, ladies, leaders, and little girls. I've got an incredible team of women who join with me and share this passion. And every single day, we get a chance to do just that. And so we've seen it now impact the lives of thousands and thousands of girls and families in and through the work that we do. And so, again, it's an honor, it's a privilege, it's a huge responsibility, but I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
I love about both of you is that you have this passion to enhance people's lives, and you can relate because you went through it yourselves. Here at Women Speakers Association, we attract such amazing women like yourselves who are dedicated to improving the lives of others. I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about what is the value for you of being here with Women Speakers Association, Dr. Rhoberta?
Well, I've been in since almost the beginning. So it's always exciting to me to meet new people. And to know what they're up to and to mentor them some, because I've done it for such a long time. So the great joy for me is community and helping.
Great. We love that. And Dr. Nicole, how about you? What is the value of Women Speakers Association for you?
Well, I am excited to be re-engaging with the WSA community. I joined right before COVID hit, and like many, everything came to a drastic halt. However, now on the other side of that, I'm really excited about the information that is shared freely within this community. I love the networking opportunities. I've had a chance to meet incredible women around the globe and also hone my skills as a speaker and someone that goes out with this message that I'm passionate about. It's a great place to build your skills. So it's been exciting, and I'm looking forward to the year ahead and continuing to grow.
Here's what I love about what you both said. You both said this is a community where you can get mentored, and give mentoring. And that's true. If you want to be in a community with women who care, who are willing to give you inside information, to give you support and answer your questions. I mean, earlier, before we were even networking, where Dr. Rhoberta was telling Nicole about her podcast and the tools she uses, and you got a little benefit there, right? So if you're interested, our viewers, in doing what Dr. Rhoberta and Dr. Nicole have done and be a part of a community that is connected, that cares very consciously, and go to joinwsa.com and check us out. Or if you just want to put your toe in the water, you can always check out the Speaker Success Plan we have for you as a free download at speakersuccessplan.com. So thank you again, Dr. Rhoberta and Dr. Nicole. You've been so wise. You've offered such wise information for our viewers today. And I look forward to them learning more about you and having you back on the show in another whatever time frame we have you back on. But we can't get enough of your wisdom. So please, viewers, reach out to Dr. Nicole and Dr. Rhoberta, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, ladies. Bye
Thank
for
you.
now.